Hey, how's it going, everyone? David here, and welcome to another reaction. This episode, we are diving into Castle Season 2, episode number 19, called Wrapped Up in Death. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the series. Hopefully, you are having a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Head on over to Patreon for the full, uncut, unedited reactions over there. Episodes extra early over there as well. With that being said, first time in history, back-to-back 10s from me, at least, in Castle. Did not see that coming at all. Really enjoying the show right now. This is probably the best, like I said, back-to-back episodes we've ever had. At least, like I said, according to me. So I'm looking forward to this episode. This is definitely one of those shows that if the case or the crime of the episode is a good one, then it usually is a really great episode. So I'm looking very forward to it. I'm ready to dive in. Buckle your seatbelts. Let's ride. Jeez.
I'm sorry. Can't you see I'm driving here?
This guy's clearly worried about something.
On the stone.
What, a chisel?
Or a crowbar.
I found marks up on the parapet as well. I got CSU dusting it for prints.
That's a long way to go for a murder. Who'd want to drop a gargoyle on someone?
Well, somebody wants to make it look like an accident. But I thought a 100-inch flat screen would be the ultimate bachelor accessory.
Well, he wasn't a total bachelor.
What makes you think that?
The second toothbrush in the bathroom.
The scented candle in the tub.
Pair of high heels under his bed, all suggesting that he was in a casual...
Sunday, we would run around here for hours pretending like we were safari in Africa or looking for dinosaurs in China.
You know, Castle, sometimes I forget that you have such a capacity for pure innocence in your life.
Yeah, plus it was a great place to pick up chicks.
And then you open your mouth and you ruin it. Hi. Can you just tut?
Exactly. You know, the exhibit opens in less than a month. I can't imagine having to do it without Will. He's the one that discovered the site.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Medina?
4:30 today.
He's always doing something so childish.
Why?
I'm gonna have to
Come on,
contact his
Castle.
next of kin.
His parents.
1,000 years old. Exposure to air in an unfiltered environment could be catastrophic.
Sorry, I didn't know this.
Rachel, it's okay. He's with the police. Rachel Walters is our mummification expert. She worked with Will.
Did something happen to him?
I
He
don't
was
want to hear that,
killed
Rachel.
Earlier tonight.
One of these
That's
two
not
right here in this
possible.
room.
Lion King. This Lion King?
That very one. They all looked inside, and they were all dead.
There were other incidents?
Okay,
All
Castle.
easily explainable. One of our grad students, Nicole Grant.
All right, so all three of those suspects seem like legit suspects. Now it's
Why?
Because Castle's cursed.
oh my god.
You had to tell them, did you?
Yes? Yes, I did.
Paper cut. Yes, the curse gave me a paper cut.
These things start small and they snowball. Yep. My Will always said, la mala suerte viene de tres en tres.
And in the Yucatan, sometime in the last few days.
Yes, we'll hold.
Oh
Why
my
is
god.
this taking so long? How many Mayans from the Yucatan lowlands could possibly have flown
I
into
think
the
it's
New
that
York area?
girl.
TSA reports that a Mayan named Chakate arrived in JFK 4 days ago on a tourist visa.
Chicate, CT.
His visa application puts his home address right in the middle of our pollen zone.
Whoever it is, it's not him.
Bam.
That's Rachel Walters.
No
That's
one
Rachel
can see them, they're
Walters.
seeing each other? Maybe she's got something to hide.
Like murder?
Ah, man. Usually it's not that either, though. So it's not her.
Stanford told me that Will is the one that should have died that night, not Nicole.
The fact that Will and I
Oh,
didn't
it's a
get
he
along doesn't
said,
mean I
she
killed him.
said,
Not getting
he
along
said,
with
she
someone.
said.
And to Will wasn't the curse. It was karma.
Do you believe that people get what they deserve?
He looked panicked though when he was running to his house.
Get hit by a car or slip on a banana peel. Then they're gonna sue you.
I have to make a call.
He seems like he's all about the money.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
And just as I hit the deck, he exploded.
You could have been killed.
I know.
Now he's panicking.
Here we go. There's no one more superstitious than an actor.
Scottish play? Are you talking about Macbeth?
No, darling. You never say the name.
Macbeth.
No. To do so.
Current address here. Let's say we go see if he's awake.
Okay.
Come on, Castle, let's go.
Can I drive?
Are you kidding?
It's not this guy
You're
either.
cursed.
We've already met this the person. I got this gut feeling.
Okay, fine. The lab identified the substance found on the gargoyle, and it was a combination of sodium nitrate, iron oxide, decomposed hemp fibers, and vegetable tissue.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Ancient human.
Next morning, went over there, fixed that window. And you know why?
Because there's no upside in screwing with things you can't explain.
And don't you ever forget it.
Exactly, guys.
I found him a buyer and we made a nice little profit.
And what were you buying this time?
A mummy.
A mummy? Who would want a mummy?
Right, who would
Collector
want a
in
mummy?
Taipei. So I stopped by the museum. You know, I thought he would say no, but he jumped at the opportunity.
Seemed to be Medina's style.
There's one way to find out. Take samples from this mummy sarcophagus. If it tests positive for drugs, Grimes is lying. Most likely our murderer.
Great, thanks.
He's not. Grimes is not the murderer. Someone else.
What are you doing here?
Oh, nothing. Just waiting for you.
Detectives, you here to talk about reversing the curse as well?
No, I'm here to see a man about
It's
a mummy.
probably him.
So, no luck with the curse, huh?
Look on the bright side, Castle. You die, your book sales skyrocket.
And still here.
All right, have CSU sweep the area and see if they can get any prints off of the sarcophagus. Whoever stole the mummy must have left some evidence behind.
Disaster. PR disaster. I really hope the press doesn't hear about this.
All right,
$10
he
says
coming off
calls the press
suspicious.
as soon as we're out the front. Okay. No reason to panic. Small reason to panic. Okay, I think I'm supposed to jump in the air.
No. Lay on the ground.
They're playing with him again.
Castle? Okay.
And would you also go into my closet and get rid of my porn collection before she finds it?
Don't worry, bro. I got you covered on
He's always got.
hit a home run with the prints from the sarcophagus.
He's always got an extra
One
joke
pop
being
that
thrown.
doesn't-
I was only sent there to check out the mummy.
The mummy?
Yeah, I was sent by a private collector to examine it.
Who is this private collector?
Medina was trying to sell the mummy. This is getting weird.
The samples from the sarcophagus and the cloth dated at over 2,000 years old, but the piece of bone
Wasn't.
was too young to date.
She looked just like the other mummies.
Because whoever mummified her knew what they were doing. Her blood's been drained. There's an incision on her left side, which her killer used to remove her organs before starting the desiccation process.
How did she die?
Blunt force trauma. Someone hit her in the back of the head. She never saw it coming.
And then do you have any idea who she is?
Nicole?
And I was unable to get a usable fingerprint.
Murder Medina in order to keep the secret safe.
It makes sense,
So-
but who's our killer?
The only
I-
person with the skill to mummify a body.
Come on, please.
What's going on?
4 words. Eat,
Come on.
pray.
Had to kill him.
Reel it in.
That's insane.
What
Reel it
happened,
in.
Rachel? Did you find her in the jungle making time with your man?
Little girls gone wild, jealousy turned deadly.
Reel
No,
it in,
Nicole
guys.
and I were fight a sample. Why don't you see if Stanford wants to do the same?
I mean, it was down to those two, anyways.
Stanford Ray,
Picked the wrong one.
you're under arrest.
What the heck? Dang it, I
Once
thought I had
Stanford
it.
got
Man,
out
we
of
were going to
surgery,
reel
he
it in.
confessed to everything. How he lured Nicole into the burial chamber and how they fought when she refused to celebrate with him.
I spoke to the DA and he's agreed to drop the felony threat charges based on your cooperation.
What kind of cooperation?
Reverse the curse.
Tell him how to reverse the curse.
Why should I?
Because, thanks to us, Mr. Bentley has agreed to send the entire collection back to the Mexican Museum after the exhibit ends.
That's all I have to do.
And one more thing. I wouldn't say no to a ride to the airport.
For a salad. Wanna help?
Ooh,
I would love to. Zoo.
I knew it.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
I knew it.
What's the difference between curse and clumsy?
I'll get a Band-Aid.
Get to.
All right, season 2, episode number 19 of Castle. Ah, man. where does one begin with Castle? I'm telling you, it's hit or miss, man. It is legit hit or miss. This episode in particular, although some might not be a miss, to me it was a miss. I didn't care too much about this episode. I thought it was solid enough in its own right mind, but what I don't like, and I've mentioned it in previous episodes, is just the humor part of it, the silliness of it. I just think when the show takes a more serious tone, it's outstanding. It's great. It's everything I needed to be. The second they start going with the silly route and, you know, start dealing with, you know, curses and mummies and all that shenanigans, I don't know. To me, it's just like it's not as enjoyable as like real life situations that can take place. So, I mean, for me, this one's probably a 7. I guess I can see the arguments for a higher rating if you're into all this sort of, you know, treasure, mummies, and stuff like that. But for me personally, although I didn't predict the person right, it still seemed pretty standard. The case was pretty just straightforward. There was really only possibly maybe 3 people that it could have been. And obviously, you know, I chose the wrong one because I thought it would be the sort of jealous girlfriend. Instead, it was the guy who the entire time just seemed too obvious it was him. That's why I didn't think they would go that route. And the other guy I thought would have just did it for like the profit or something. So they could have went one of 3 ways. They went the way with the more obvious one, which is, like I said, just pretty standard. I don't care too much about the humor side of this. I've said it time and time again, and I'll probably continue to say that. It's fine, and, you know, for the most part, they leave it in doses. They don't, you know, overdo it. But if you're not into the humor part of it, and that's all it has going for it, then you might be in for a long episode. And that's unfortunately what I had here for myself. It's just an episode of silly jokes of Castle being, you know, his usual silly, sort of immature self. And it just kind of, I don't know, it was just like a standard flat case. Nothing exciting going on. No, it was this person or this person. Like, even the reveal at the end was just kind of like, I thought we had her, but then once she said, oh, he also knows how to do that, that's kind of, those are the things that I'm kind of like, wait a minute, if you knew that all along, don't you think it would have been semi-important to let detectives know that, hey, I'm not the only one that's professional at what I do. I learned from this guy. I learned from whatever his name was, Stanford. I don't know. I liked the feel of it in the beginning. It felt as though we were actually going a sort of different route where, you know, the case was going to be a little more serious. It looked like the guy was panicking as he was running away from someone. It looked like he was... No, but then they just, I don't know, they just ruled it on a curse. I guess if you believe in curses, then that's one thing. I'm just kind of somebody that, I guess I just don't believe in curses. I'm not saying, you know, wish all the bad curses onto me. I won't do anything like that, but I don't know. It was just a silly episode. Nothing really exciting going on. Interesting characters, but nobody really stood out from the first 3 people. And I know the one actor, but I just don't remember his name. Let's see. Oh, there he was. Which is right there. Yeah, this guy. Eric Avari. I know him, but I don't. I mean, otherwise, it's just your standard sort of episode, man, which is fine. I figured that they would do that. Most shows, when there's as many episodes as this is for a season, they usually tend to throw, if they have 2-3 great episodes in a row, they'll throw in a 7. And I think this is what this is. They just threw in a 7. Everything else was so, you know, fresh and exciting in those past 2 episodes that I knew we were doomed for a 7 eventually. It's just what it is. That's how these shows run. When there's so many episodes, you gotta have a couple filler episodes, and I'm gonna rule this a filler. Don't kill me over it. It just definitely wasn't my cup of tea, and I just think that's what it is. If it's your cup of tea, you will enjoy the crap out of the episode. If it's not, then you just kind of be, tagged along for the ride. And so the last 2 episodes were about a serial killer. It involved, Beckett. It involved, the Nikki Heat storyline. And it was just so much tension, so much that it was so great. And then this one's just kind of like, oh, we're going to pull pranks on Castle to make him think that the curse is real. And then certain things are going to be, shit end of the stick, things that happen to him with the elevator or with, the dog. And so it's fine. It's not the greatest, but it also isn't, my cup of tea, which is fine. I mean, at the end of the day, I have definitely come into, after those previous 2 episodes, I've come into Castle with a high head, expecting greatness. And even if it doesn't quite hit the greatness that I'm looking for, it's still a solid, fun show to watch. It's definitely, to me, this show would be a show that if I wasn't watching it review-wise, it would be one of those shows that would be very enjoyable to watch or have for background noise. And I know that sounds like, oh, you're shitting on the show, you should pay attention to it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not shitting on the show. I'm not saying that if you pay attention to every little detail, you won't enjoy it. I'm simply saying there's certain shows that while you're like doing some chores or you're fiddling on your phone, just kind of like trying to pass time, this would be one of those shows because it's enjoyable. And in a sense, it can be very tough for a reaction if nothing crazy is going on. But it's enjoyable. It's really enjoyable. It's definitely something that you could just kind of watch to pass time. It's something you could watch where the time just flies by every single time you watch an episode. And I mean, apparently we're almost an hour in. It just didn't feel like that. You know what I mean? It just feels like it just rolled right through. And even though this wasn't one of my favorite episodes, it still just rolled right along. And so that's very enjoyable. It's just the humor for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm lame. I'm a lame guy, man. The humor for me is just kind of meh. I'd rather the serious roles. I'd rather the serious Castle. Like that's when he's emotional, when he's very invested into what's going on. That's when I'm like, yes, this is the Castle I want. But when he's just kind of like making his weird assumptions and doing all his weird little jokes and stuff like that, it's just kind of like meh. So there you have it. That's the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed the reaction. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Head on over to Patreon for the full, uncut, unedited reactions over there. Episodes extra early over there as well. With that being said, I'll catch you guys later. Peace, guys.